episode of the Wholehearted Business Show. Today we're going to be chatting all about how to handle a business wobble. So if you're not familiar with that term, let me explain. So a business wobble, or having a bit of a wobble around your business, is just a period of time, it might be a day or a couple of days, where basically you just feel really shit about your business, and it might be triggered by something in the business. So it might be a failed launch, or it might be difficulty getting clients to sign up, or it might be comparison with someone else. It could be triggered by things outside of the business, so like where you are in your cycle, other things that you've got going on in your life, and what other people might say or think about you and your business. But basically, it's just not very nice to experience. A business wobble for me tends to look like a day or a couple of days where I just kind of fall out of love with my business. Like, I feel crap. I feel like I am crap. I feel like everything I do is crap. I feel like I want to burn it all down, actually. That's probably like the key way to define it for me. Like, how I experience a business wobble personally is I just want to burn it down and start again. Or I feel, wouldn't it just be easier if I just went and got a 9-to-5 job? Which in reality it would not be, but my brain likes to play that trick on me and think, wouldn't it just be easy if you just went and got a job? Wouldn't it be, why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself through this? It's really that kind of thing that you experience. Like I say, that's how I personally experience it. For you, it might feel completely different, but I think it's basically, you just feel shit about your business, essentially. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how we manage that and how we can deal with those business wobbles and how we can come out of it, without completely burning our business down, basically. So the first thing to mention about a business wobble is that I honestly haven't met a single entrepreneur who doesn't have them. I think everyone, from whether you're starting up your business, whether you're making 50k a year, 100k a year, a million a year, I think it doesn't matter. I think people experience these phases. And I'd be really interested to know why we get it. But I think when you are running your business, you are putting an element of yourself out there, and there's a vulnerability to it. I think even if you're not sharing anything vulnerable about yourself, I think there's a vulnerability to running a business. And I perhaps feel like maybe that's the root of why we get these business wobbles. But everyone gets them. I've almost kind of come to not expect it, but just to be not surprised when I get it. And now that I've had quite a few of them, I know how to manage them and just kind of how to ride it out a little bit. But they always have something to teach you, basically. And we're going to talk a little bit about all of this. So everyone at every level experiences this kind of thing at some point. So I think the first thing is and this goes back to something I mentioned in the very first episode of the Wholehearted Business Show, where I talked about the 7 keys of a wholehearted business, like those business values that I operate by. And that was to see everything as a test. And that has actually helped me reduce how many business wobbles I have, because I'm never so heavily invested in a strategy or a launch working out that if it fails, it kind of triggers me to feel really, really bad about myself. So because I see things as a test, and everything really is just like this, an experiment, we can just try our best and see what happens and learn from that, which is what I'm going to come on to in a sec. But I think when we see things as a test or an experiment, it means that we're not quite so, it's not the end of the world. We know that there's learnings there. We know that there's a next step. It's not the end point. So I think just having that kind of like mindset around business can be really, really helpful when it comes to managing business wobbles. And then the next thing is to really think about what lessons you can learn from it. So whatever is triggered you feeling like not great about your business, what is it trying to tell you? Is it trying to tell you that you're taking on too much? Are you on the verge of burnout? Are you getting overwhelmed? Do you need some support? Perhaps it's a difficult client and they're not making you feel good. What is it that you need to do? What's triggered really the wobble, and what can you do to not fix it, but to take notice of that and make a change that's a positive change in your business? So that's really thinking about any lessons that you can learn from it, anything that you can change. And I always think there's something under it. There's something underneath that is leading to us feeling like that, and it's good to just identify what that might be. Is it jealousy of someone else? Is it like a bit of like comparison, and what is that telling you about what you want in your business? So it can be really good to just explore what that might look like. And then I think the next thing to do is just to take a break. And what I tend to find in myself is that when I feel like this, it's often at the tail end of a really intense period where I've been working really hard and doing lots of stuff and just not taking enough breaks, basically. So making sure that you take a break and completely just have a break from your business. The world is not going to end if you don't post on Instagram for a week, or you don't email your list for a week, or you don't do anything on your business for a week. The world isn't going to end. As long as if you have clients, make sure that they are taken care of. That's always my priority. People have paid me for my services. I will make sure that they are taken care of. So as long as that is taken care of, other things, it's not the end of the world if you take a break. Take a break, go do something completely unrelated to business that you really enjoy, and just watch how your motivation and things might come back after having that break. But just take a break and do something that is really fun, completely unrelated to business. That's really going to help. And then I think the next thing is to find some kind of support. It can be really useful to have, whether it's a business bestie, whether it's being in some kind of group program or mastermind, or having your own coach, but having someone you can talk to when you feel this way. I think that can be really valuable. Having a safe place to vent, to just get it off your chest, where you're not going to be judged. I really just think it's really important just to have a space where you can do that. And like I say, whether that's some kind of online community, whether it's a one-to-one coach, whether it's just a business bestie, someone else who understands. And what I would say is sometimes it can be difficult. It can be tempting to want to talk to like a regular friend or a partner about this. And I mean, with all the love in the world, I mean, my husband's really quite good, actually, bless him. He usually says, Laura, you felt like this before. He's not the most sympathetic with it, to be honest, but he knows that I kind of go through this, and he's like, Laura, everything's going to be fine. It always is. Just chill. But sometimes people who don't understand business, they might just say, well, we'll just quit and then just do a job then. And that's fine. And sometimes it might be the right thing for you, where you take the pressure off by getting some kind of other paid employment if that is relevant to your situation. But sometimes I just think asking people who are involved in online business don't get it. You'll know, if you're listening to this, you'll know who those people are in your life who get it and who don't. And I think it's just helpful to think about who you go to around having a business wobble, where you can get that kind of support from. So that's another tip, is just to get some support from somewhere. I think that can be really useful. And then as you come back around to getting involved in your business and doing stuff, just try and find a task that you really enjoy, that's easy, that's going to make you feel good about yourself and make you feel good about your business, and try and kind of use that as the stepping in point to getting back into your groove. That can be really useful, I think, just finding something that kind of reignites your motivation. Perhaps it's a completely new project, a new offer, a new way of marketing your business. All of these things can just bring fresh energy, fresh motivation, and really help you get over that wobble that you might have had. Another thing to consider around these wobbles and how they might feel and things like that is, just making sure that you have the systems in your business that allow you to just take your foot off the pedal and just to relax a little bit. So things like automations that you might have in place, you might have things scheduled up in advance. I mean, like I say, if you just take a complete break, it's absolutely fine. But having some automations and having some things in the background, those things can be super useful as well. And just to say, I think with business and with business growth, I think it's really helpful just to remember that building a business takes time. There isn't, really any overnight success stories. There might be people who appear to be overnight success stories, but they're not. And I think it's really helpful to remind yourself of that. It's going to take a couple of years. I honestly think from, even if you've got the best mentors and coaches and people working with you and you've got loads of income to outsource stuff, I still think you're looking at a year to 2 years to really get a business off the ground and working with a community, an audience of people, all of that stuff. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. So I think it's really good just to remind yourself of that. Try not to compare yourself to people who are in completely different situations, different stages of the journey. That can be really useful as well. And I think the thing that's always come for me, the kind of analogy that it's felt like for me, is that it's building a business that is like climbing a mountain, and you can't see the top, and it's and you just feel, oh my God, this is so hard. And you might look up towards the top of the mountain and think, I just don't know if I can keep on going. It seems so far away to get to the top. But actually, you keep climbing a little bit and you see that you were really close to the top. And I think online business is a little bit like that. So you can be so close to the top. You can be so close to just getting over the top of the mountain, getting to the top, and then you're on the nice downhill climb where things feel easy, and it's like things snowball. So I've really experienced this in my business, especially recently with the business mentoring side of things. I was primarily a health coach, kind of like some of the business mentoring stuff has always been woven in for quite a few years. Really made the decision to just go all in on the business stuff the very start of 2020, and over the last kind of few months I've really started to sense the momentum. Basically, that's the word I was looking for, the momentum that comes. And I think a lot of people get really frustrated, but they're so close to the top of the mountain, and when they come over the top, they get like they've actually created that momentum. And this is why I'm a big fan of, of just finding a way of enjoying what you're doing, of being consistent, of understanding that this is going to take a bit of time, but that's okay. It is well worth the journey. And just remembering that once you kind of get over the hill, you've got that momentum that is going to help carry you, and it really does make a difference. I don't have to hustle for clients. It just, the momentum is there, and it's taken not giving up and kind of managing these wobbles and managing this sense of wanting to burn it all down, and this sense of, wouldn't it just be easier if I got a 9 to 5? All of that stuff has helped me get to the point where I've got this momentum now, and it feels a lot easier. So if you have a business wobble, think about those tips. Remember that you're not alone in this. We all have them. Think about how you manage them, what you can learn from that experience, and look at the support that you've got, and look at, do you need like a part-time job to make sure that you've got enough income so that you're not stressing about stuff. If you listen to your intuition and you quiet yourself a little bit, I think there's so much good stuff to come out of these wobbles that can really teach you and help you on your way. So that's how I handle a business wobble. That would be my advice to you if you get them as well, which, like I say, I would totally expect to get them in a business. I just think it's part of, unfortunately, the vulnerability when we are doing something like running a business. But as always, I'd love to know if this has been helpful. Please do, if you're listening to this and you found these tips helpful, pop me a DM on Instagram. I'm wholeheartedly Laura. Do let me know. If you are watching this on YouTube or on my blog, leave me a comment below as well and let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, let's blast those business wobbles. Let's move through them. It's all going to be okay. There's ways to get through it. And just to say, if anyone is having a business wobble and you just need like a pep talk, pop me a DM on Instagram. I will give you a pep talk. No problem whatsoever. I like giving pep talks. So yes, pop me a DM on Instagram and I will happily give you a pep talk. But have a wonderful week. Take care, and I will see you next time.